Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's an incredible crowd here today. I'm so glad to see you all make your way back to your seats. I hope you had a chance to stretch your legs, check your email, grab coffee, hear music. The rest of the morning is power-packed. In a moment, David Brooks will come to the stage and talk to us about character. You'll meet private equity legend Steven Schwartzman, and we'll discover whether Starbucks can in fact save the middle class. But first, before we get started with our programming, I do want to introduce one of our underwriters, the Walton Family Foundation, who helped today make it possible. It's a pleasure to introduce the director of Walton's K-12 education program, Marc Sternberg. Marc, come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Margaret. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to New York City. I'm honored to be here this morning to represent the Walton Family Foundation for a conversation about character, something we care a great deal about, and to introduce David Brooks. David Brooks is someone, of course, who needs little introduction. He appears in our homes often through any number of media. Perhaps, like me, you greet him in your bathrobe at your front door every Tuesday morning. Perhaps you too, clutching your morning coffee, welcome him to your breakfast table. On all other mornings, I fight with my kids over the sports page, but on Tuesdays, I go right for the op-eds. In a recent column, Mr. Brooks described himself as a pundit. I think this understates the role and voice he has for many of us. David Brooks is, I think, more than that. He is as much prophet as pundit. We look to people like him, and there aren't many, to help us sort through complicated social riddles. This, of course, brings us to the topic of the day: character and a life well led. These topics have been on his mind of late. He'll share some reflections, which we can happily, to our great benefit, explore in greater detail in the book that he has recently written that now sits comfortably atop the New York Times bestseller list. It makes a simple argument that basic virtues like humility and grace and patience and gratitude must be nurtured and celebrated. We heard earlier today from Eva Moskowitz. I love Eva Moskowitz. I love what she stands for. I love that she'll stop at nothing, both in her work in the policy environment and in the schools she runs, to nurture the academic growth of her students and to nurture their character. And in education, we often think of these things as separate. We at the Walton Foundation think they need to be thought of together. This is a complicated matter, for sure, and so we are very fortunate to have someone as wise and erudite as David Brooks to help guide us through that conversation. He will be joined by Jeffrey Goldberg of The Atlantic, and we're so pleased to welcome them here today. Thank you again.